It happened again, guys. Another deal that didn't make it to closing. Well, this one made it to closing, but it didn't actually close. I want to walk you through exactly what happened on this last double closing deal that I had. I want to talk about the things that I did right, I did wrong, and the lessons that I learned during this whole process. A lot of people don't talk about the losses or the things that didn't go out exactly how they wanted. So that's what this video is going to be about today. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Dakota King. I run a transactional funding business where I specialize in helping wholesalers and real estate investors by funding their deals. Now, this particular deal was a double close. And if you've never heard of that, this is a strategy that wholesalers will use when they're not able to assign their contracts. And basically, in short, this is when the wholesaler goes under contract with the seller, but then they also go under contract with the end buyer. So there's two separate contracts. And both of these are gonna close on the same day. But oftentimes the wholesalers don't have the funds to close out that first contract. So that's where I step in and bring in the funds so they don't have to use their own cash. Now this lead came to me from a referral partner, which I love. I love having the referrals send over their leads because at the end of the day, when the deal closes, I get to pay them too. So everybody gets to win. But this deal was a little bit different. This wholesaler was doing her first deal. So I knew from the beginning that I was gonna take a little extra love. Out of the gate, everything was looking good. The wholesaler did exactly what she was supposed to. She submitted both of her contracts to my intake form. They were both signed, both closings were on the same day, both at the same title company. Everything checked out. When it was time to get introduced to the title company, everything was looking good. I made my introductions and then it was just time to wait. As we got closer to closing day, things started to get a little weird. It ended up that the title company lost their underwriter in the middle of my deal. I don't know if you know, but if you don't have an underwriter as a title company, you're probably not doing too many more deals. This is where I made my first mistake. The title agent that I was working with was actually contracted through that title company. And when they lost their underwriter, she said she had a solution. She was gonna move the file to another title company that she was also contracted with, and everything would end up closing on our intended close date. I shouldn't have let her do that. I had never worked with this title company. I should have picked another title company and moved the file directly to them. Lesson number one, always control who the title company will be. When that title company ended up not being able to perform, I should have been the one that stepped in and dictated what the new title company was gonna be. That agent had no business just moving the file to another title company. I should have stepped in and I should have made that decision. The title company that we ended up going with assured us that they would be able to close on our existing closing date, and everything seemed good on the surface. But during my due diligence process, there were a few things that just didn't really sit that well with me. These things weren't necessarily the biggest red flags, but in my head, it just wasn't what I wanted to see. But I reached out to some of my community members and got some reassurance and decided to move forward with the deal. In the back of my head though, I already made up my mind that I was never gonna use this title company again. With all that being said, we made it to closing day. Not so fast. Everything was lined up and we were ready to close. When I made that call to check in on the funding and what time the wires were gonna need to be sent, that's when I found out the news that the end buyer's money was not gonna be coming today. The hard money lender that the end buyer selected decided to pull their funds on the last day. That's never something that you wanna hear, but sometimes it just happens. The wholesaler was panicking and she did her best to try and get an extension with the agent and the seller, but they were playing hardball and they were ready to close either today or it wasn't gonna happen. At the end of the day, they were able to give us a 2-day extension. That's not a lot of time for the end buyer to go and find more money. So ultimately, the deal died. With the title company leaving a little salty taste in my mouth, part of me felt like this deal just wasn't meant to be, and I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. What I actually cared about in that moment was the wholesaler. This was her first deal, and she was crushed that it didn't go through. I spent most of the day talking to her and trying my best to reassure her that sometimes these things just happen. And in real estate, there's always gonna be some kind of hiccup. She didn't do anything wrong. The end buyer's financing fell through, and there was nothing she could have done better. But when it's your first deal and it dies at the closing table, it stings just a little bit more. You put everything into this deal, you tell people about it, you're imagining it closing and how great it's gonna feel to get your first one done, and then it doesn't, and that's just crippling. Sometimes people don't talk about the deals that failed and what they did after the deal with that borrower. A lot of people just, well, that one didn't close, move on to the next and never talk to them again. But for me, it was important to be there for her and care for her as a person and not just another deal. All right, this is what I'm taking away from this one. Number one, always control the title switch. If there's a deal that needs to be switched, I'm making the decision and I'm gonna make the choice of who the next title company is gonna be. Number two, trust your due diligence. This is something that's very important and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And I knew that deep down, this was leaving a uneasy feeling, and the fact that it didn't close could have saved me thousands of dollars. Number three, take care of your people. This is a big one and it's overlooked a lot. The wholesaler's experience is just as important as mine, and I want them to have an experience that when they need another deal funded, that they're always gonna think of me and how I was that person that was there for them and not just a salesman, and that I treat them like a family. Real estate, it's unpredictable. Deals fall apart all the time. The ones that make it long-term are the ones that shake it off and keep going are gonna find this most success. If you're trying to get into transactional funding, or if you're a wholesaler that's trying to understand the double close process or how they can use a transactional funder to scale their business to the next level, drop a comment below. I wanna hear from you, I wanna connect, and I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. If you have a deal and it needs funding, make sure to submit to my website, transactfunds.com, or me or my team will take a look at your deal and see how we can work together. I'll see you guys on the next one.